Hello, everyone, and welcome to a live impromptu mini read here for this full moon in Libra. I was definitely feeling the energy of this, and I kind of like these to be live because, as I said in the previous one, I don't tend then to overthink or be a perfectionist, and I can get them out to you exactly when I need to. So I will experiment with doing these lunar readings at different times of the day. Sometimes they'll be completely open. Sometimes I'll allow members to chat. I try to change it up so everybody gets their moment in the sun or moon in this particular situation. All right, so I like to keep these pretty brief. We're going to pull 3 cards, past, present, future, possibly 2 extra cards. We'll see if time permits, just to see where there might be balance and harmony opportunities as well. Apollo is chilling out in the background, always holding space for us. So as I get my keyboard set up here, let's get started. If you have a moment, you're watching live, let me know how you're feeling in this particular moon. I went ahead and put a poll up there so I can kind of help you with that as well. All right, close your eyes for a moment. Let go of anything that you might be holding on to, whether it's heavy emotion, fear, anxiety, doubt, etc. Let it all go. See yourself sitting beneath the full moon. Trace a circle around your body. See that it fills up with this beautiful lunar energy. And in this moment, whatever needs to come through will come through. This mini reading is for everybody. And I'm not going to drive it too much as far as like where we need to look or see. It will be revealed. All right. Past, present, and future. And I'm using a deck here that someone bought off my Amazon gift list. So thank you. I think it was Jennifer. Most of the decks that I own are purchased by fans, so I really appreciate it. Okay, let's see here. I have some new ones that I'll be reviewing as well this week that were sent to me. So more fun decks for us to use. Again, past, present, future. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to begin with the energy from the past. So this is what we were bringing into this moment in time. Many of you might have been dealing with it this past week, in fact. That about tracks. We have the Devil card coming through. This is about, for many of us, cutting through that stuff. It's so interesting. If you watched the card that I pulled for today, April 12th, you'll notice that it was an Emperor. Maybe I have it nearby. I think I already shuffled the deck, but it's an Emperor card where he's pulling things with strings. And it looked to me like a control sort of energy. And so, I mean, thematically, the cards are very related. But yeah, we have the Devil here who's trying to basically either control unnecessarily, perhaps deceive, perhaps things just aren't what you thought they would be. And it's almost like this revelation is coming through, the wizard behind the curtain, right? And so, be that as it may, it's never kind of fun to go through that, but I always like to think that things are revealed exactly when they need to be, and in this moment in time, it's important to speak up. Let's look at this particular illustration. The Devil actually has, it's like the tongue is weighted down, so sometimes people try to put words in your mouth, sometimes they try to clamp down on your ability to speak authentically or honestly, and I think one of the things that loud and clear is coming through, especially with this illustration, is if you don't feel aligned with something, if you don't like something, it's really important to articulate it and speak up. And also, it's interesting that we have 2 people here that perhaps if they were, imagine what would happen if they were to take their chains and pull. It's kind of like if we think back to, was it The Empire Strikes Back with Leia, where she basically got Jabba by pulling them that way. So sometimes if you feel like someone is trying to pull your chain, you just pull right back and say, I don't think so. And that's kind of what I'm getting here, but it requires cooperation. One of them alone, since he's kind of portrayed as a giant here, can't get them. But 2, if you work together, you can affect change. You can turn the tide. And I feel like there's a reminder of the power of the people, whether it's in a company, in a family, in a country, in anything. It's like if you don't like what's going on, work together. And you can turn the tide, okay? There could also just be some stuff in your life where you're thinking, I really need to move beyond that, because the Devil represents addiction, fear, frustration, control, lies, deception. So if there's anything at any part of your life where you feel like that is weighing me down, I can do better, or that needs to be better. You don't necessarily have to take the action today, but you can start to kind of map it out and plan it. And you're going to say, all right, I'm releasing it, because full moons are great for release. I'm releasing this. It no longer serves me. And in that sort of release, clarity can come in. I'm going to hold space for something much bigger, much better. Okay? And then we go into the deep, not the deep past, but like the clarifying card here. It may be the deep past. Wow, how beautifully synchronistic here. You're not alone. Maybe you feel alone, but you're not alone. It's interesting that we have like Saturn and Jupiter in particular on here, a teaching planet and an expansion planet. So the lesson that Saturn's really trying to teach us is teamwork. Once we have the teamwork, the expansive energy of Jupiter comes through and helps us out. Okay? So it's time to set things in motion. I'm not surprised that we see this. Libra wants balance, right? Justice. So there might be something where you're just like, enough is enough. And it's good to know when enough is enough. You just have to kind of decide like what is next, right? All right, let's see what you're feeling today. So this is what might have been going on coming into the full moon. Here's what today provides. Wisdom. Wisdom in the energy of the hermit. So one thing that I'm starting to really learn the older I get is that we have to sit with our emotion for a moment. And if you're kind of in a fight or flight mode where you're trying to run from one thing to another, I would encourage you today on this full moon or any time that you get this reading, because really, whenever I do one of these, it's good until the next major moon reading that I do. So when I do the new one, we'll look at what's going on there. But for at least the next couple of weeks, I want you to focus on sitting with your emotions, sitting with your thought, and thinking to yourself, like, how do I feel? Why do I feel this? What do I want to do about it? Getting informed about the root cause of the emotion. And then that's going to help you find your lantern, shine some light on things. So this is a moment to sit, to learn, to absorb, to kind of map or plot out the next thing. Clarifying this, it says, my aura is magnetic to golden opportunities. So this made us feel isolated. This reminded us you're not alone. You're starting to learn and see and find your power. That lantern represents the future star state that you're eventually going to be. And when you start to get more into that energy of possibilities, you start to see them and attract them. Have you ever noticed? Here's a really great example. I talk about it from time to time because my background is in writing. So undergraduate, I studied journalism. I minored in writing. I love reading. Anyway, when you learn a new vocabulary word, and this is great too if you're also learning a new language. You'll know exactly what I'm saying at any age because we can constantly learn. But reading will teach you this. You'll find something in a book and you're like, I don't know that word. Let's look it up. You look it up, you learn it, you try to use it a couple times, and then all of a sudden you hear it on TV, it's on the radio, it's on a billboard. It's always been there, folks. The word has been out there in use, but you were kind of blind to it, right? So once you're awakened to a meaning or a thought or an opportunity, it shows up more. And also you're attracted to seeing it more. So when you just start to learn about something in your mind, like, I think I can do this, or I want to know more about this, pathways will reveal themselves to you. So vocabulary is a great example of that. Once you hear or see something, you'll start to see it everywhere. Synchronicities, basically. And that's in your auric field, too. So when you just start to broadcast, like, I'm ready for this, or I'm going to do this, suddenly things kind of align. Just like a magnet. Magnets can only go one way. You try to force them, they won't work. So you're going to lock in with someone who's in the right resonance and frequency. Okay? What's it all about, folks? Okay. So the Ten of Swords, we're going to go straight to this because these two work in tandem. So literally the name of the deck came through as the way to sort of transmute the Ten of Swords. So this person's starting to, you can look at it either way. The traditional Ten of Swords, they're on the ground. They're in a pool of blood. It's done. I feel like in this one, they're kind of waking up after that moment, after the full stop, after the awakening. And they're like, I need to shake all of this energy off my auric field. I need to shake these thoughts out of my head. I need to heal myself. So there's this opportunity for a path of less resistance, of more happiness, more fulfillment. And for many of you, you could avoid this. It's in the future. So as we're doing this, that's what my guides are reminding me. This hasn't yet been written. So the Hermit's helping you rewrite and avoid this. And the Ten of Swords can represent burnout, sickness, an argument. This feeling also of just kind of like being completely over something. I feel like if you see it coming, and it is much like a train that is honking its horn, it's important for, or its whistle, you have to really decide to move quickly. So there is this sort of wake-up call, call to action, and awareness that needs to happen right now. This is avoidable. Self-care is so vital in this period of time. Definitely don't burn yourself out. Because if you do that, then it's just going to take so much work to kind of build back up. So I love this. Raise your vibration. I think one of the things that I was talking about in a recent reading was to focus on like the possibilities rather than kind of like allowing your head to go into too many directions. So really focus on what it is you're trying to open up and ask yourself questions about like, how do I make that happen? But don't let your head go into all of the negative. Don't worry so much about all of the things that are out of your control. Focus on what you can steer, what you can do, put the energy there. All right, I think we're tracking pretty well on time. So I'd like to look at 2 special questions for this one because I wanted to set the intention to learn a little bit more about finding balance and also seeing if there's any opportunity for more harmony in your life. So focusing first on balance and now on harmony. Okay, so we got our first reversal here in the Knight of Wands, and then the Nine of Wands came through. So let's see, I might go to a different deck for this. Maybe I'll just stay put. We'll stay put. We're getting good messages on this. So let's go ahead and do 2 more Oracle cards, and we'll wrap it up at that. All right. Balance, harmony. We got 2 for this. Okay, so to create better balance in your life, Knights take a step back when reversed. And this one is saying, wait a second. Again, do I agree with this? Does this lock in with my vision? Because the Knight of Wands is going to move an idea forward. But if you're not feeling it, this can actually inspire you to quit, break up, move, change it up, or pivot, or delay. Don't move forward until it all makes sense. Because rushing forward doesn't necessarily get you to the finish line faster if you're missing something along the way. So it's really important to slow down and recalibrate. Get inspired. I love the unicorn on this particular deck. Get inspired and try a different line of thinking, because the unicorn is about being singular or unique. Wands is about thoughts. And so this is really about allowing your thoughts to wander in the best possible ways, and allowing yourself to think, well, what if I tried this? I've never thought about that. Could that be something that's good? Clarifying this, we have your ability to connect to your first, second chakras, really, your sexuality, your personal sort of expression. We're in an interesting period of time where this gets shut down or shamed or blamed or whatever. So I think it's really important when we're looking at really the second chakra in particular. Do you feel like you can be yourself, that you can express yourself? Sacred. It is sacred. Listen, God in the universe made every single chakra in our system, everything on this planet. It's all part of the creative plan. So I really do take issue with people that point and cast judgment and have opinions on something that's different or something that's out of the norm, because who are you to judge, right? And if you're in the line of that judgment, dismiss it, because that person isn't using the right lens. They're kind of using their own lens, not a more universal flow where it's everything under the rainbow. Okay? Are you feeling like you can voice yourself, express yourself? Because really that's what I'm picking up on that. When you're in alignment with who you are and what you represent and you express that, that's an expression of divinity. Okay? Different way to look at it. Wish we had more of that, right? Okay. Now we have here So this was balance. This is how you can create harmony. 9 of Wands. Okay, so the 9 of Wands doesn't give up. And basically, we'll pull the traditional one. I kind of like this one. We have a boar here that's kind of pushing forward. So sometimes we have to be stubborn, which is what I'm getting from this one. But I'm going to pull the traditional illustration because it's a little bit better. If there's something worth fighting for, it's worth fighting for. Like, go the distance, put yourself out there. And know that after a brief rest, after a brief sort of reset, I feel like you're going to be able to accomplish what you want. I think it's important to stand up to a bully because the 9 of Wands can represent that. It's like, no, you're not going to get me down. This person, you can see the bandage on their head. They're like, I'm going to stand my ground here, or I'm going to stand up for this person, or I'm going to stand up for what I believe in. And so there are moments where it's worth fighting for the fight, or fighting the fight rather, and standing up for that. So this might be one of those moments. It's also like, if we look at it on a broader term, like let's say you have a creative vision, you're going to fight for something that matters. You can't get everything, but you can get most of it. The 9 of Wands is a pretty good card. Go to bat for yourself, stand up for someone else, stand up to a bully, because we have the Devil card here earlier in the spread. And then we have 2 cards here. So manifesting is my superpower. We already talked about the ability just to think something or learn something and then you see it. That's kind of manifestation. You're ready to find where it's at, and then the universe just starts to show you. It shines these beams of light on it. You can imagine in this full moon that the moon is shining a beam on what you need to focus on next. And it's safe for you to shine. Yes, it is. Because this connects. I mean, typically when the Hermit comes through, somewhere along the line, I'm going to get a star card or the sun. And so we've got that here. So the Hermit found their light in the lantern. And lo and behold, we have it's safe to shine, right? All right. I like this. Let's it's a pretty manageable read, but there definitely are some challenging things, and I would expect it because it's been a strange beginning to this year, hasn't it? The key thing here is this. Whatever the limit represents in your life, the devil, it's really important to make a decision in this full moon, if you take nothing else away, to step in a new direction, to find your voice, to work together. You're not alone, but it does require this sort of the community work or cooperation. You have the power. There's a chance to overturn this sort of 10 of Swords and move in a different direction. But it does require maybe this open-mindedness. Well, what about this? Express yourself, focus on manifestation, and fight for what matters most. It's a pretty good full moon. But the reason I think many of us are feeling intense energy is because of that Devil and 10 of Swords. And so we're kind of like in a time where it's like you're walking on broken glass or you're tiptoeing. I believe you can avoid full-on 10 of Swords, but it just requires common sense and empathy. Okay? I hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to take a moment here to interact with some of the members. Oh, by the way, thank you so much, Andrea, for gifting some memberships to people. I hope they got to enjoy today. And everybody, this is going to be available on replay as well. So just celebrating a couple of new members here. Feather Michelle, welcome. Julie, also welcome. Thank you to our Paulo for your contribution there. I appreciate that. Again, Andrea, thank you so much for gifting a few new ones. Lady, thank you for 7 months of being a member. And I hope all of you enjoyed this, okay? So yeah, I do these short readings for lunar or celestial events, like if we have anything sort of in particular that's coming through, like an eclipse. For the solar eclipses, I'll do it as well. And it's a chance just to show up and give you something in a very brief format. That's all for now. Thank you, everybody. Just a quick reminder, if you haven't subscribed, you want to subscribe so you don't miss out on this. You can also follow me on social media, Nicholas Ashbaugh on all the major platforms. And thank you again for everybody that did decide to give back today and the members. This will be available for everybody because we all need to see this. It's important. But I just wanted to give a little perk to the members today. And also I see Georgia. Thank you also for 19 months of membership. You're amazing. And Lady Intrigue, I think I said, yeah, 7 months. Thank you. All right, let's wrap up with Apollo. Give him a little pat on the head, and then we'll be done for today. All right, folks, thank you so much. I'll be putting up the poll for tomorrow a little bit later here. Once I clear off the table, I'll be setting up the topics for that. And I'm working on trying to get the final 4 videos done by the middle of the week, and then we'll get back on track. That's the goal this month. Again, I appreciate your patience. It was just like everybody, this was a rough start to the new year. I was busy traveling, and it's just, there's been a lot going on. And then I was sick. So thank you for your patience. I'll see you all soon. Take care and join the live stream tomorrow, 9:15 a.m. Pacific. We'll be looking at the week ahead. Until then.